Now that everyone's fallen for my trap of conspiracy theories and misinformation, I can destroy society through open-mindedness and free thinking.
Oh, hey, you got me. Turns out, I'm an evil conspiracy theorist that spreads lies and misinformation for money and fun. And I just wanted to clear up a few things, the direction I'll be going in moving forward, and what I think of my #1 diehard superfan, Milo. Because I actually don't have a problem with him or any of his videos. Okay, I lied. I've got one problem with them, and I'll tell you exactly what that is. First of all, let me debunk him for a change, because ironically, a lot of things have been said about me and my platform that are just blatantly not true, so it's time to debunk some of your myths. In case you didn't know, I've been topping the charts on this channel lately for a few of the theories that I talk about on mine. Which, by the way, congrats and you're welcome for your second most viewed video of all time and counting. Right behind the dismantling of who was probably another evil misinformation conspiracy theorist, Graham Hancock. Kind of an honor to stand beside him. Now, who the hell even am I and what do I talk about? To put it simply, my channel in a nutshell is interesting shit that blows my mind. Sometimes there'll be cool science facts. Other times there'll be archaeological mysteries and urban myths. If you're a fan of fun, theoretical, and speculative theories that tickle the brain and make you go down deep rabbit holes that blow your mind, it might be for you. And if you're not, then maybe it's not. Let's get right to it. When my channel was analyzed, this false narrative of me being this good-hearted guy who only ever talked about science and space and history that slowly turned to the dark side of conspiracy theories and misinformation for profit and clout is just not true. Firstly, I live in Canada. The TikTok Creator Fund isn't even open here. I've made a total of $0 from the platform, and my YouTube doesn't even meet the criteria for monetization yet, meaning I haven't received a penny from any of my views. Yes, surprise, surprise, I make these videos for fun. They're all topics that I'm genuinely passionate and just love talking about, not something that I pretend to like for views. I've always loved a good mystery or conspiracy theory for like the past 15, 20 years now. It's just in the core of who I am. And I've actually always made these types of videos since the very start of my channel in the beginning of 2023. Yes, my third video ever was a conspiracy about simulation theory, which also got a fuck ton of hate, but that's just the nature of these controversial topics. I'm used to it. Then I made a video about UFOs, another one about a UFO sighting, more simulation theory, aliens, a video about AI taking over the world, even more simulation theory, a 3-part series about the CIA declassifying a book that talks about the end of the world, the Adam and Eve story, one about the long-lost mythical 8th continent of Mu, simulation theory again, and then finally my 2-part Easter Island series, which was claimed to be my first conspiracy video ever. Which, by the way, these were all within the first 2.5 months of me starting my channel, so there really never was a time that I didn't post this style of video. And yes, I used to make a little bit more regular fact videos than I did conspiracy videos because of mere time management. When I first started this page, I posted every day for 4 months straight. One video every single day. That takes time. And newsflash, this might be hard to believe for some people, but research for conspiracy videos takes much longer than it does for regular science videos. I used to just not have time to go into these deep dive conspiracy topics as much as I do now since I don't post as often, but I still managed to squeeze them in, even back then, because of my passion for them. Yes, I am genuinely passionate about the mysterious topics I talk about and accept that they may or may not be true. But no, I'm definitely just talking about them because I love to lie to millions for views. And this is so much more than just a technical nitpick at these false claims about me. I've always made videos about a slightly more mysterious or conspiratorial nature because they're interesting to me and clearly to many other people as well. That is filspixel. Things I find interesting that blow my mind that may or may not be true. Sometimes there'll be facts about science, space, technology, math, physics. Other times it'll be a theory that's just fun and thought-provoking to think about while knowing that it may or may not be true. That's the thing. These theories require a level of intellectual nuance to watch. Do your own research, make your own conclusions, but don't demand to silence others who have different conclusions than your own. Everyone needs to know that these are just theories. They may or may not be true. Hell, the same could even be said about my regular fact videos. The idea that you are Stardust is technically just a theory. We may currently have more evidence that supports it, which is why we accept it as a fact, but we also might gain new knowledge, say 100 years from now, that proves it to be wrong. But does that mean we're not allowed to question it right now? Almost everything from my science facts to my conspiracy videos are just interesting theories. Some theories are more widely accepted, so we call them facts, but more on that in a bit. Because I need to debunk the second, or are we on the third myth about me that's been going around? around that I somehow stopped making these science videos in place of only conspiracy videos because they got more views. That's also not true, like, at all. I always have and still continue to this day to make regular science, space, and fun fact videos even before either of these hit pieces dropped. In fact, less than 40% of my videos of the past few months have been these controversial conspiracy topics. That's right, the majority of the videos that I post to this day are still and always have been these regular science fact videos, which I love. I even made a video debunking the moon landing conspiracies at the height of my conspiracy videos last July because I genuinely believe that we landed on the moon. But maybe we didn't, and I accept that as a maybe, and I don't get angry at people who disagree. This idea that I'm only chasing views, intentionally spreading lies about topics I don't care about nor believe in is just the most blatant outright lie that I've ever heard. This might be a hard pill for some to swallow, but I am just as passionate about crazy conspiracy theories as I am about fun space facts. I make a wide variety of content, but I guess people just like to focus on what gets them the most angry, which is why I became the conspiracy guy. I suppose this narrative of me being this pure, good-hearted science communicator who only made educational videos, slowly getting corrupted by views and choosing to only spread lies and misinformation for money and clout, is just a better story arc than me always being and still being a guy that talks both interesting facts and mysterious theories, which is what I am. Kind of boring, but I guess this story just isn't as appealing as the one of me slowly falling to the dark side, so that one just stuck. Crazy controversial mysteries and theories don't need to be this big evil thing that we need to silence at all costs. They could just be theories that are fun to think about and discuss that we accept may or may not be true. And that's the part that seems to bother people so much. That the idea that it may be true is just a complete lie and we already know the real truth with 100% certainty and we can't talk about anything that goes against it. But what exactly is so harmful and dangerous about alternate history theories that gets people so angry that they demand to have them removed from ever being discussed? Oh, it's because it's harmful to the hundreds of years of research of experts in their fields. There's this strange movement online that villainizes anyone that talks about these mysteries, calling them racists and bigots or just liars and frauds. And I've had a taste of it all. So much that other people are now scared to even talk about these theories out of fear of being ostracized and ridiculed. Why don't we focus on dismantling actual harmful misinformation? Like, I don't know, governments forcing everyone to inject themselves with experimental chemicals that later turn out to have adverse health effects or something like that. It's a good thing that hasn't happened yet, because that would be terrifying. Or even something like Coca-Cola funding scientific studies that conclude Coke has no link to diabetes. That is actual harmful misinformation that can literally result in the deaths of thousands. But no, let's instead label harmless, thought-provoking archaeological mysteries about the pyramids as evil misinformation, and attack and silence the idea that the government might be hiding something in Antarctica, but maybe they're not. Secret alien bases in the South Pole, fraudulent scientific studies about sugar water that people consume every day. Tell me, which one is the real harmful misinformation here? And this might be hard for some people to hear, but labeling ideas you don't agree with as factually incorrect or misinformation that damages society are not valid reasons to guilt people into self-censorship. You can call them out on it, make a debunking video on them, but shaming someone from talking about certain ideas is a very dangerous road, my friend. There have been many things throughout history, especially lately, that were once considered factually incorrect or evil misinformation harmful to society that later turned out to be true. When we suppress or silence these fringe ideas from ever being spoken, it actually delays progression and future discoveries from being made. Like, these theories I talk about exist. As much as I'd love to take credit for them, I didn't make them up. I do research from articles, books, posts, other videos, podcasts, documentaries, and so on. Find theories that I think are interesting and blow my mind and present them in a way that's quick and fun to listen to. In fact, no one's probably gonna believe me, but my conspiracy videos take on average about 10 times longer to research than my regular science fact videos. That's a fact. My famous Stardust video, which I love that theory, by the way, I shit you not, took me less than 5 minutes to research, and then I just kind of spoke what I learned about. Done. Nothing wrong with that, it's just how it went. Other videos of a similar length, but a more controversial nature, say my long-lost 8th Continent of Mu video, took a minimum of about 2 hours just to research and script. There's this strange notion out there that conspiracy videos are cheap and easy to make and are guaranteed a lot of views because you could just come up with any random bullshit and it sticks. That's just not true. I don't come up up with the majority of these theories myself, and finding information on them usually takes a bit of deep digging. Much deeper than I'd have to do for like a regular space video, which would require nothing more than a surface level Google search. Speaking of Google, how about those debunkers? Honestly, Google debunkers, I love that phrase is growing the way it is, and I also think it's fucking hilarious, so please, everyone keep using it, it's great. I came up with it after realizing how much in-depth research conspiracy videos really do take, and how much reading between the lines and logical deduction is sometimes required. A Google debunker is someone who blindly accepts what the news, academics, the government, people in positions of authority and power say as the ultimate unquestionable truth of reality, and outsider opinions are meaningless and need to be silenced. Someone will spend hours or maybe even days researching a certain fringe topic that a debunker will do a 5-second Google search for, clicking the first, I don't know, Reuters link that pops up, debunking the conspiracy that Mr. Tinfoil Hat spent days looking into. That is a Google debunker, because I suspect there may be a chance that a $1 trillion search engine that basically directs the thoughts of the entire civilized world might have certain people in key positions of power with deep pockets influencing what sort of info is shown to the masses. But don't worry, that's just a conspiracy, right? And on the other end of the spectrum, we have the far-gone tinfoil hat conspiracists who blindly believe every conspiracy they hear as the 100% truth, and in my opinion are just as bad. Although many people may disagree, I don't claim to be either, which is why I talk about both factual scientific topics and controversial mysterious theories. Some people only like the science stuff, others, like me, enjoy both, and others absolutely despise thought-provoking conspiracies, and there's nothing wrong with that. But does that mean we should silence and censor those ideas from ever being spoken? Of course not. You can dislike the video, comment saying you don't like it or that I'm stupid, or even make a 3-hour feature debunking it with evidence. In fact, I support that, as it is the basis of free speech. What I do have a problem with is shaming anyone who openly discuss these ideas, influencing their audience into calling those people to stop talking about these ideas and strong-arming them into self-censorship because you don't agree with them. Like, genuinely, what's the suggestion here? That crazy theories, even ones as insane as flat earth, should be fully silenced and prohibited from ever being discussed to any capacity? And listen, these conspiracies and mysteries exist and will continue to exist on the beautiful and free-thinking tool we have as the internet. Unless governments and big tech get more and more involved, suppressing certain thoughts from being discussed online, which I sincerely hope you do not support. There are huge podcasts and influencers that talk about the very same theories that I discuss. Sean Ryan, Flagrant, Danny Jones, Jimmy Corsetti, everyone's favorite Graham Hancock, Billy Carson, The Y-Files, Randall Carlson, Uncharted X. Many of these platforms almost solely talk about these controversial topics, and there's nothing wrong with that everyone is so keen on silencing from ever being discussed on the internet. They have their audience, me included, and I encourage them to continue spreading their ideas. Not as an ultimate truth, but as an, oh hey, look at this, isn't that an interesting perspective? Should we then be trying to silence platforms like these from having a voice on the internet, telling them they should be ashamed for spreading or coming up with the same ideas I talk about? That's insane. Hell, the biggest podcast in the world, the Joe Rogan Experience, has an arguably similar structure as my platform. Sometimes he's got leading experts in science, technology, politics, medicine, physics that talk about their ideas, and other times he's got the fringe theorists that talk about theirs. I enjoy both. Does that mean JRE needs to be canceled, silenced, or at least Joe needs to stop bringing on guests that talk about these fringe theories? No, it's a style of content that has an audience. If it's not for you, don't watch it. If you're a fan of the broad range of topics discussed on there, there's a chance that you might be a fan of my content. If you absolutely cannot stand JRE, then maybe I'm not for you either. And it's okay, you have a thumb. You can always scroll past if you see something you don't like. Might I remind everyone, questioning things even when facing public ridicule, being painted as a villain who lies for profit and spreads misinformation to damage society is sometimes how we make the most fascinating, groundbreaking discoveries ever. Sometimes, not always. Either way, it's important that we keep these conversations alive. Galileo was literally hunted down for suggesting the world is round, likely being called a conspiracy theorist, or the 17th century equivalent, a heretic, for even suggesting that. But he stuck to his guns, and even though he died while under house arrest for these claims, his theories eventually turned out to be the ones that we consider to be true. Which I know a lot of people are gonna say, oh, it's because he was being persecuted by the church, who was deliberately suppressing information to preserve their power, and we don't abide by that model anymore. That's so cute. It's a good thing there isn't an ultra-wealthy group of people in power that would do the same thing today. But you're right, we eventually adopted what we now know as the scientific method, which is the basis of what we use today to determine what is a fact and what isn't. Which I agree is the best model we currently have available, but it doesn't mean that certain people aren't going to find ways to abuse it for their own benefit. Trillion-dollar companies have literally been caught and admitted to faking scientific studies, which we commonly claim to be the ultimate holy grail of truth for their own benefit. Do you have any idea how easy it would be for a company like BlackRock to fund a scientific paper and then publish dozens of official news articles all claiming a certain result that they paid for? Anyway, who knows? Maybe 500 years from now we'll come come up with a new method for determining truth that is far better than even the scientific method, that proves we're currently living in a simulation and that ancient Egyptians used levitation technology, or we might not. Believing that humanity has already reached a point that we know the ultimate 100% unquestionable truth about everything and we should shame anyone who disagrees is, in my opinion, far more dangerous than discussing a conspiracy theory that may or may not be true. We as humans do have a tendency to believe that our current society has a complete understanding of the universe based on how much progress we've made from the past. People in 5000 BC were probably all like, oh man, can you believe we never farmed before this? We surely know everything there is to life at this point. Then in 500 BC, we were probably all like, can't believe we didn't have democracy before. We've definitely figured everything out by now. In the 16th century, during the scientific revolution, we probably felt the same way that we finally uncovered the ultimate truth with science. Then came the industrial and information revolutions in the 20th century, each time believing we've achieved the peak of human existence only to figure out how wrong we were decades later. There's actually a popular scientific fallacy that insists science is right, full stop. Once we uncover the truth of the world, we're done, and anyone who denies it is stupid and ignorant. But a modest familiarity of the history of science offers many examples of matters that scientists had thought they resolved only to discover that they were wrong. Even Nobel Prize winner George Bernard Shaw is famously quoted as saying, all great truths begin as blasphemies. The earth is round. Once a blasphemy, now a fact. Or so they say. Same with the theory of evolution through natural selection, germ theory that germs cause diseases, atom theory. Were all once considered to be misinformation, with their researchers mocked and shunned from society. We continue to progress by constantly questioning the current status quo, and sometimes we learn what we thought was right was wrong, or vice versa. Not saying any of the theories I talk about are 100% true, but it's this process of questioning and discussing them that we make new discoveries. When I talk about advanced civilizations, giants, ancient aliens, it's not because I believe them to be the ultimate truth. It's because these ideas exist, and humans are capable and should be encouraged to engage with ideas through thought. You are allowed to talk about things that you don't necessarily think are the absolute truth. Don't take things too seriously and don't take them too personally. And that's my problem here. We live in a very dichotomous society where people can enjoy the nuances of a fringe theory and claim that every idea has to be either 100% true or it's a conspiracy. You're only allowed to enjoy regular science topics or solely only conspiracy videos. You can enjoy both. I prefer to adopt the philosophy that any fact has the potential to be disproven at any point and any conspiracy has the potential to be proven. This is the ideology that allows us to progress and make new findings that push us forward. Say we banish the crazy, evil Giza power plant theory from ever being discussed, and 1,000 years from now we, build a time machine that allows us to prove with a higher degree of certainty that maybe a part of that theory was true. We'll look back at the last 1,000 years and be like, oh gee, we sure lost a lot of progress on learning from that theory when we banned it from being discussed back in 2024. Conspiracy theories that were shunned from society that later turned out to be true. I'm sure glad that's never happened before. And this idea that we need to be open to the ever-changing, malleable nature of what's considered a fact and what's a conspiracy pisses a lot of people off. Especially academics, professors, students, career archaeologists have been so accustomed to the scientific method of determining truth their entire lives that anything that doesn't fit inside of it is without a doubt totally false. Which, in their defense, they should be. Science has brought incredible advancements to humanity, but it also breeds the expert bias. I believe they should be more open to outsider perspectives as they're subject to this confirmation bias within their own expert circles, but I'm just an idiot. Case in point, Troy. For the longest time, it was believed that the story of Troy was just a Greek myth and anyone who believed it was laughed at until a German businessman and amateur archaeologist discovered it and proved it to be true. Just like Atlantis, it hasn't been discovered yet, but career archaeologists probably aren't looking for it. We still need to be careful and not fall into the camp of the far-gone conspiracy theorist who adamantly believes with 100% certainty the government's lying to us and hiding the truth. Those people are no better than the Google debunkers who think the news, academics, our science, and history textbooks are 100% unquestionably true. When you live in certainties, you get angry. Or as a wise man named Obi-Wan Kenobi once said, only a Sith deals in absolutes. When you choose to face the world with an open mind and all facts of history, science are opening for questioning and the most ridiculous conspiracy theory ever has a possibility, however slim, to be true, life just gets better. You're not an angry Google debunker fighting fringe theories, trying to convince them and maybe even yourself that they're 100% wrong and crazy. And you're also not a conspiracy nut job, blowing a fuse at anyone who suggests that maybe the frogs aren't gay. It's just a better way to live in my philosophy and how I choose to do so. Telling someone they're not allowed allowed to think a certain way or share certain thoughts online is the real harm to society. So to end off, I will agree to a sort of gentleman's agreement between myself, my fans, my #1 superfan, my haters, the Google debunkers, and the open-minded. I will continue to make videos that interest me and blow my mind. That's where my passion lies, and I will continue to follow it. And yes, I am just as passionate about crazy nutjob theories as I am about mind-blowing facts about space and science. I'm not gonna silence my true self and pretend that these fringe theories don't interest me anymore because a vocal group of online people told me to. I'll have videos that discuss flat earth and hollow earth theory, as well as others that talk about the largest stars in our galaxy or math puzzles. If I ever come across a conspiracy that truly tickles my brain in the right spots, I will probably make a video on it. And same goes for an interesting topic about math, science, physics, and so on. And listen, I'm not here to debate that my theories are true and the mainstreams are not, because the mainstream ideas might very well be true. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't question them, no matter how ridiculous the questions are, or play devil's advocate as I commonly do. I admit that adding a disclaimer to my conspiracy videos stating just a theory may or may not be true is actually a pretty good idea, but it's not something that I'm going to be able to repeat 100 times throughout the entire video. So if you like my regular fact videos about space, technology, science, physics, math, I always have made them, never stopped, and will continue to do so. And if you absolutely hate my conspiracy videos, too fucking bad, downvote them, leave an angry comment, make a debunking series on them, or just be a normal human being and scroll past them. But I will continue to make them on the basis of open-minded and free thinking, as well as just following my passions. Look at it this way: if I continue to make crazy conspiracy videos only to have them downvoted to shit and perform horrendously compared to my regular science fact videos, that would just further debunk the myth that I'm only doing this for clout and profit too, right? Maybe, just maybe, I'm actually passionate about these topics. And hey, for people like Milo and fans of his debunking videos, it gives them an endless stream of content to create and enjoy, using my topics to create their own videos that will continue to top their charts and views. Videos like these wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for morons like me, am I right? You keep milking my videos to pay off that mortgage, buddy. Daddy's got your back. I get to keep doing what I love, talking about facts and theories that interest me, and people like him get to keep doing what they love, hating on people they disagree with. Which is kinda ironic, calling me out for chasing views with conspiracy videos when it's exactly what you're doing in your pretentious, spiteful debunking videos filled with ad hominem character attacks, which are clearly the videos that get the most views. Or maybe focus on debunking real harmful misinformation that could actually save lives. Just turn on CNN, there's surely no shortage of that. And if you think those debunking series don't promote hate and censorship, I'm sure the comments below will more than prove my point. The core of my channel stands on a simple principle: question everything. The formation of stars is a theory. Ancient civilizations having advanced technology we're unaware of is a theory. They're all interesting to me and I love learning about it all. People who love my regular fact videos can watch those and enjoy them. Those who like my mysterious theory videos can watch them and enjoy them too. Those who don't like them don't need to watch them and can live in peace knowing that it may or may not be true. But if my controversial mystery videos somehow taint your enjoyment of my other videos, you don't have to watch any of them. If you ever catch yourself thinking that any idea is absolutely 100% false and needs to be silenced, just remember the wise words of Obi-Wan. Practically everything I talk about is a theory, and nothing I ever talk about I ever try to peddle as the absolute, ultimate, irrefutable 100% truth as some people do. Whether a space fact or an archaeological mystery, all I'm ever asking is what if. Even if in some videos I may sound very passionate and adamant about the theory I'm talking about, that's just how I get when I research an interesting topic. And it would sort of ruin the flow of the video if I just said, remember, this is just a theory and it may not be true every 10 seconds. I will always talk about a wide variety of topics, so there's almost definitely something in there that will interest you. But if open-minded and free-thinking discussion on fascinating what-if theories isn't for you, just don't watch my videos and your life will be better. It's that easy. What a shame. You could have had a successful science fact channel and you just threw it all away. Guess I'll be unsubscribing now.